Hello everyone. Today I will talk about new Android malware we discovered called NGate. This research was conducted by me and my colleague Jakub Osmani. Unfortunately, he was not able to come. That is the reason why only I will share our research and insights with you. Let's start with a quick introduction. Jakub is penetration tester at ESET and also part of ESET brand intelligence service, which means that he is responsible for monitoring threats that targets our client devices. Many of these clients are financial subjects or banks. That is the reason why and how Jakub was able to identify malicious campaigns at early stages that would lead us to discovery of NGate. My name is Lukas Stefanko. I'm a malware researcher at ESET for the last 13 years. I focus on analysis of Android malware, as well as mobile or Android APTs, app vulnerabilities, and the outcome is then shared through blogs. That's about us. Now let's move to the agenda for today. I divided this presentation into 4 main parts. I will start with NGate discovery. Then we will move to technical analysis of the NGate, as well as other sets of tools that were used in this campaign. It will be followed by other attack scenarios which were not used, and we will wrap it up with summary and prevention tips. I hope this is okay with you, so let me start. This is a video footage of arrest one of the threat actors behind NGate. This was released by police in Czech Republic. It was recorded a couple moments before or after threat actor did ATM withdrawals using victim contactless payment card without having card with him. This was not a mule, which means someone that was hired to take the money. It was most likely threat actors or one of them, because he knew about the campaigns, how malware works, and what's the features of it. The arrest happened in March 2024, again in Czech Republic or Czechia. Based on police information, he had male 22, he had 6,000 euros with him, which were from the last 3 victims that he was able to scam using NGate malware. Right from the beginning, I have prepared a quick video that demonstrates how this malware works. NGate relies on NFC relay attack, which means that victim's card sends NFC data through victim's smartphone to the attacker device, and the attacker is afterwards able to cash out the card. Let's see. In the right hand, I have allegedly victim's smartphone with the card. Once initialized, data are being sent, and ATM believes that the card is at the reader. This is an effective scenario how to extend the length between the card and the ATM machine. These campaigns were discovered in November 2023, and they were stopped, at least are stopped for now, until March 24, because of the arrest, most likely because of the arrest. Since then, we haven't seen any active activity of NGate malware. It was distributed through text messages that were sent to random phone numbers. These phone numbers were registered in Czech Republic or Czechia. Here I prepared illustration scenario how the attack worked. So we have threat actor on the left and the potential victim on the right. Attacker starts to send text messages with link to progressive web applications. Victim receives link, installs the app, and credentials are lured if successful. Now there is a turnaround because attacker makes call back to a victim, informing that there was a security incident, pretending to be an employee of a bank. Pretending to be employee of a bank, an incident most likely because of the text message that was received previously. So right now, he makes sure that the victim's account is protected by requesting to change a PIN of the card as well as verifying the change using allegedly secure application NGate malware, which is then sent through text message with the link to download the app. Once downloaded, installed, and opened, it will lure the PIN as well as NFC traffic, which is sent to threat actor. That's how the trick worked. Let's continue. The attackers had fallback plan, which means if the NGate would not work, they were not able to cash out from the card, they still have credentials for the banking account, which was obtained previously. We believe that NGate is way easier to get to money, to cash out directly from ATM machine, like misusing credentials of the banking account, which might be even protected by multi-factor authentication. It's necessary to create another account, go through KYC, and deposit money, which could be stopped by the bank. This malware is new. We haven't seen anything like that before. It was not documented yet, even though it relies on old techniques: social engineering, phishing, and NFC relay attack. Altogether, we discovered 6 samples of NGate targeting clients of 3 banks only in Czech Republic. All these samples, Android apps, were signed using one same original certificate, which means they were created by the same group of developer or the person which was behind them. From the discovery, let's move to technical analysis. We have seen since November 23 until March 24, we have seen evolution and 3 different sets of tools being used. So let's discuss that. The first tool, starting in November, were malicious progressive web apps. Progressive web applications are benefit of these apps is that they could be installed directly from a browser. During campaign, using PWAs, threat actor targeted only mobile platforms, Android and iOS. The link was sent through text message, where message claimed tax return. This website impersonated either fake banks or fake Google Play, which were then lured to install apps allegedly from the store. Once PWA websites are visited, user is popped with notification that it's possible to install the app on a smartphone. There's one problem, or actually 2. Since user can install the app from the browser, there is missing a warning from the browser that app might be harmful. and also browser doesn't need a permission to install apps from unknown sources. These PWAs are not native applications, they are rather shortcuts. Once installed, there is icon on the home screen. You can see two. One on the left is PWA. There is the logo of a browser that was used to install the app. One on the right is a legitimate native application. Moving to the second set of tool, which is malicious web APKs. It is very similar to progressive web apps. However, they targeted only Android. And the reason is that web APKs are not just shortcuts. These are native applications, which are generated by the browser. Distribution, phishing website, impersonating bank, or Google Play. Once installed, there is still missing warning from the browser, even though it's a binary file, and browser doesn't need permission to install apps from unknown sources, which attacker benefits from. Also, the icon which is created does not contain the logo of a browser. We see three, one on the left, legitimate banking app, one in the middle, malicious web APK, and progressive web app. There's one more problem with web APKs. When a user checks app information, they state that the app was downloaded from Google Play Store, which is not true. The third tool, NGate, affected only Android platform, distributed through fake website, impersonating security feature, allegedly from the bank. This is not a PWA or a web APK, it's a native application, which means once downloaded, browser will notify user, will warn user that this might be a harmful app. Also, browser need a permission to install apps from unknown sources. Three set of tools. Now let's focus on NGate itself. Once installed and opened, it would request the user to log in as a phishing activity with the banking account and date of birth. They are sent to the attacker. Afterwards, it requests to change a PIN for a card, which means that first they need to enter old PIN. This is a way how threat actors obtained the PIN to card. Afterwards, user needs to verify that by putting own contactless payment card to the back side of a smartphone while NFC is enabled and the data traffic session from the card is being relayed to the attacker's smartphone and misused. This is a relay attack, no replay attack, which means that the whole chain needs to happen at the same time. It's only one session is intercepted and it cannot be reused. The malware used two CNC servers. The first one served for NFC relay attack, where data are being temporarily stored and forwarded to the attacker device. And the second was JavaScript interface. This is very unusual CNC for Android malware because it's operated directly from a browser, from the phishing website. Using this interface, malware stole device information, basic device information, NFC data, if it is enabled, disabled, what kind of chip, if it is supported. And also it is possible to enable the NFC or disable the NFC when necessary, which means during the act of stealing the session from the card. So the NGate is a phishing and NFC relay. However, threat actor did not wrote a code for the relay from the scratch. they just reused one of the tools which is called NFCgate tool. This tool serves for researchers to monitor NFC traffic from Android smartphone and interact with it. It is important that this tool was published around 10 years ago. It's open source, it's on GitHub, and it's maintained. Developed by Secure Mobile Networking Lab at the Technical University of Darmstadt in Germany. This tool utilizes more features than the NGate. NGate was able only to use relay attacks. With this tool, it is possible to capture traffic on the smartphone itself from NFC-enabled apps such as wallets, relay, replay, and clone data. In here, you can see the architecture of the NFCgate tool. So we have two smartphones, one server, smartphone on the right behaves as a reader, clones the data, sends them to server, and from server they are forwarded to attacker device. In a relay case scenario, the first smartphone on the right does not need to be anyhow customized or rooted. Standard Android smartphone supports this feature. On the other side, the attacker, the one that behaves as emulator on the left side, needs to be customized, rooted, and support the NFC tag, NFCgate feature. Here I prepared a full video scenario where I used NFCgate tool to perform the attack. One smartphone is enabled as a tag to emulate the card, and the one in the right hand behaves as a reader. Once the app recognizes the card, it starts to send data. The second device, by the way, the server is running on the second smartphone. I already obtained the PIN using phishing, and now I was able to withdraw money. This attack still works, even though the tool was published again like 10 years ago. Using NFCgate tool, it is possible to perform 3 other attack scenarios than just relay attack. I would like to discuss them. The first one is relaying, cloning NFC tags. NFC tags are high-frequency RFIDs, radio frequency IDs. These tags, tokens, are part of transportation cards, student cards, employee tokens to access workplaces, or cards to access apartments. In the most secure way, these cards tokens have key, which is encrypted. Once the card is put to reader, the key is verified, access granted. However, it doesn't work for all readers. Some of them does not request the key. All they need is just unique ID of the token. Because of that, it is possible to clone some, not all, just some of IDs for these cards, specifically MyFair 1 key tokens. Here is another demo where I was able to clone the UID, copy the ID, copy it to another app because my smartphone was not supporting the emulation feature, and use it to access the premises. The clone happened within a few seconds, and the smartphone needs to be customized. There are 2 possible use cases how this could be misused. So someone, attacker with this smartphone, goes around and clones the cards. Later on, use them to access premises. This is highly targeted because they need to know where to use the tag. Similarly, two attackers, one is already at the premises, work or apartment, and data are being replayed or relayed. Second scenario are contactless payment cards. These are limited, which means number or threshold that can be paid without terminal requesting a PIN. It differs based on country, based on bank that issued the card. In my country, in Slovakia, it's 50 euros, which is around 55 US dollars. Everything above, request a PIN. Demonstrating that feature, smartphone sends data, I was able to pay under 50 euro threshold. Data are being sent from a card which was not present at the terminal. Similarly to possible attack scenarios where threat actor either steals the wallet where there is card and tries to make the session where someone on the other side of the country or the world is able to make these payments. Second one, with the smartphone, trying to, in crowded places, areas, metros, bus stations, trying to scan the backpacks, the wallets, the purses, and trying to be lucky to relay the traffic. There's a third case scenario. However, it is very challenging, but I included it to create a picture and maybe answer some of your questions. If it is possible to relay data from wallet apps. It is very difficult because wallet apps have extra security layer which request a verification before every payment. Either it is biometry or the PIN. However, if threat actor has the PIN, it is able to do so. In here I show you how I was able to use a session from my smartwatches. The reason the smartwatches were not requesting verification, the reason is that I used or recorded the video before the April 2024 where this feature was included. I have opened the wallet app on smartwatches. I'm using these smartphones to perform the relay. Data are being sent, no verification. I successfully paid at the gas station. So these are three possible use cases that could be misused using NFC gate tool. However, we haven't seen them yet, but I believe it's important to be aware of them. Now we are slowly heading to conclusion. In these campaigns, were used three set of tools: malicious progressive web apps, web APKs, and NGate malware. Web APKs and PWAs were used to lure credentials for banking. The reason why these technologies were used is they could easily gain trust from potential victims. They can be installed directly from a browser, no warnings from the browser or system itself, and they look legit. The third state of the attack was NGate, which is something new. They used a new attack scenario or unique attack scenario. However, the campaigns were local or very targeted, which means only citizens of Czechia, Czech Republic. They were sending phone numbers, they were sending phishing links to phone numbers registered in that country. Text of messages were in Czech, targeted 3 clients of 3 banks in the Czech Republic, and even arrest happened in the same country. NGate utilized NFC gate tool, which is available online, maintained, and it actually works to send data from victim's device, victim's card, to the attacker, even though the NFC gate tool is capable of performing more type of attacks. Let's head to prevention. Since this campaign started by sending text messages with the link to visit website and install app, it is important to stick with official sources to install mobile applications, Google, Apple App Store. Protect your physical cards. I demonstrated one scenario where it's possible to clone data from the card, even though when it is in a wallet or at a table, backpack, if attacker is lucky. Because of that, I believe you should use, for example, RFID blockers, which are sleeves that create a Faraday cage. You can also use aluminum foil to put the card in. And because of that, any reader is not able to obtain the data from your card. There are also built-in RFID blockers in wallets. So you can use such blockers wallets with the payment cards or access cards. Even though the most secure way to make payments, I believe, is using mobile wallet apps. Even though I showed you it is possible to take a session or steal a session, it's extremely challenging. The reason these wallet apps have extra layer of security that request additional verification. Do not share your secrets. Do not share your PIN. If you are not using it, then I believe you can turn it off to lower the risk of external devices trying to communicate with your devices, watches or smartphones. That's it for my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you very much.